guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my August book haul for you, so stay tuned. So for the month of August, I have 16 books to haul for you, and these do not include my book outlet books because, well, I do those in a completely separate video. So these are books that were either gifted to me or came in subscription boxes or just books I ordered, things like that. So let's see. The first 3 books here are books that Xander actually got for me at his school. It was so cute. So they had this thing where they were like free books that they were trying to get rid of, and he went through and looked at books that he thought I would enjoy, and I thought that was just the cutest, sweetest thing ever. So he picked out 3 books. The first one is Geeks by John Katz. It's how 2 lost boys rode the internet out of Idaho. And I'm not entirely sure if this is a true story or based on a true story. It says it's current affairs. And the way it was written seems to have been written like it actually happened. This says, Jesse and Eric were geeks, suspicious of authority figures, proud of their status as outsiders, fervent in their belief in the positive power of technology. High school had been an unbearable experience, and their small-town Idaho families had been torn apart by hard times. On the fringe of society, they had almost no social lives and little to look forward to. They spent every spare cent on their computers and every spare moment online. Nobody ever spoke of them, much less for them. But then they met John Katz, a roving journalist who suggested that in the age of geek impresario Bill Gates, Jesse and Eric had marketable skills that could get them out of Idaho and pave the way to a better life. So they bravely set out to conquer Chicago, geek style. Told with Katz's trademark charm and sparkle, Geeks is a humorous, moving tale of triumph over adversity and of the self-acceptance that delivers 2 irresistible heroes for the digital age and reveals the very human face of technology. I thought it sounded pretty interesting. Sorry if you can hear this loud truck outside. I think it's a trash pickup day. Okay, so the second book that he got was actually one that I already have, and so I'm going to be giving this to my mother-in-law. But that is Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, and this is the second book in the Giver Quartet. And Xander had to read The Giver for his summer reading, and his mama, my mother-in-law, she also read it and was enjoying it. And so I figured, since I don't need this one, we can pass it on to her so she can continue. So I thought that was also really sweet of him. And then the next book is Revelations, a Blue Bloods novel by Melissa de la Cruz. And it was funny when he handed me this because I was like, oh crap, because I have this series, but I'm missing some of the books. And there's like 9 books and I have 6 of them, so I was thinking I was gonna have to tell him yet another book that I didn't need. But turns out that this is one of the 3 books that I'm actually missing in that series, so yay. So I pulled up on Goodreads Blue Bloods, which is the first book, so I could tell you about it since I can't really tell you about the 3rd book. This says, when the Mayflower set sail in 1620, it carried on board the men and women who would shape America. Miles Standish, John Alden, Constance Hopkins. But some among the pilgrims were not pure of heart. They were not escaping religious persecution. Indeed, they were not even human. They were vampires. The vampires assimilated quickly into the New World, rising to levels of enormous power, wealth, and influence. They were the celebrated Blue Bloods of American society. The Blue Bloods vowed that their immortal status would remain a closely guarded secret, and they kept that secret for centuries. But now in New York City, the secret is seeping out. Schuyler Van Allen is a sophomore at a prestigious private school. She prefers baggy vintage clothes instead of the Prada and pearls worn by her classmates, and she lives with her reclusive grandmother in a debilitated mansion. Schuler is a loner and happy that way. Suddenly, when she turns 15, there's a visible mosaic of blue veins on her arms. She starts to crave raw food, and she's having flashbacks of ancient times. Then a popular girl from her school is found dead, drained of all her blood. Schuler, actually I think it might be Skylar, but it's spelled weird, doesn't know what to think, but she wants to find out the secrets the Blue Bloods are keeping. But is she herself in danger? Anyway, I thought that was really cool that he picked out this book as well. Okay, so the next 4 books are books that my friend Clint over at Reed's Readers sent me as sort of a late birthday present. So the first one I'm actually currently reading. I'm not sure what my thoughts on this book are yet. But that is The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty by Anne Rice, writing as A.N. Roccellari. And this is like an erotic retelling of Sleeping Beauty, where she's awoken with sex versus a kiss, and she's turned into a love slave for the prince that wakes her up. I'm not really sure how I feel about this book right now, because as I said, I've already started reading it. I'm not too far in, but I'm definitely having some issues with it. But yeah, it says if you like 50 Shades of Grey, you'll love the Sleeping Beauty trilogy. And yeah, there's like, it says the prince's reward for ending the 100 years of enchantment is Beauty's complete and total enslavement to him. And let's just say he can pretty much do whatever he wants with her, and he likes to degrade her, and he makes her walk around without any clothes on out in public, and she's spanked in public and things like that. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this book. Next is Whispers, or The Whispers by Greg Howard, and this looks super cute. This is a middle grade book. It says 11-year-old Riley knows a thing or two about wishes. Ever since his mom disappeared, all he's been doing is wishing for her return, wishing he'd stop wetting the bed, and wishing his dad would love him again. With the police investigation stalled, Riley is desperate for answers and worried his mother might soon be out of time. So he turns to the Whispers, mythical wood creatures who will grant your heart's desires if you bring them tribute. It's a story his mother used to tell him every night. He never really believed they were real until one day when he hears them call to him, telling him his mother is near. Riley is determined to find the Whispers and ask for the one thing he wants the most, his mother's return, no matter the cost. Especially because he thinks a secret he's been holding close is the reason she's gone. This is his chance to make things right. Along with his best friend, his loyal dog, and a neighbor boy with a secret of his own, Riley ventures deep into the dark woods where all sorts of dangers lurk, to find the Whispers, and he hopes his mother. But what he finds instead will change everything for Riley forever. Greg Howard stuns in this heart-rendering, mesmerizing debut about love, magic, and what it means to believe in the impossible. And it sounds super cute. And it's relatively short. And then the other 2 books he sent me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was so excited about. And I haven't read them yet. But they are, well, we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander, and Property of Hogwarts Library, Quidditch Through the Ages by Kenilworthy Wisp. And they're Harry Potter books. And I'm excited about these. So yes, Fantastic Beasts is so... This is fun. I'm like really look forward to actually reading these when I get a chance. And they're also relatively short. And well, they are pretty much what they say. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and you know, about Quidditch through the ages. Okay, so these next two books are books that came in my Unplugged book box. So I think the first one was in my young adult one, and the second one was in the adult one, I believe. So the first one is Remember Me by Chelsea Boblowski. And I thought that looked really cool. This says, the past is never far behind. Nell Martin is moving again, this time to the Winslow Grand Hotel built in 1878. As Nell is settling in, strange things begin to happen. Doors lock of their own accord, writing appears on bathroom walls, and most horrifyingly of all, visions of a dead boy permeate her waking life. Thinking it's her mind playing tricks on her, she soon finds the past and the present colliding as she learns horrific details of a murder that took place at the hotel in 1907 involving a girl named Leah. Nell and a mysterious boy must relive that day in hopes of finally breaking a curse that imprisons them both. And Nell discovers what truly links her to the history of the Winslow Grand Hotel. And it sounds good and creepy, and I'm here for it. And then the one that I think was in the adult box was The Arrangement by Robin Harding. And I have heard good things about this, I do believe. This is about a girl who was looking for a sugar daddy and found one, and well, she very quickly fell in love, and when he wants to call it quits, she is not accepting that. And I think it turns into like some kind of fatal attraction type thing. Somebody ends up murdered. What was supposed to be a mutually beneficial arrangement devolves into a nightmare of deception, obsession, and when a body is found near Gabe's posh Upper East Side apartment, murder. And that's all I'm going to really go into about this, because this is another one that you don't really want to know too much going into, I think. But it sounds really good. Okay, so this next book is probably the one that I was most excited about because I got an amazing freaking deal on this. So, Books A Million, they have this thing called the Millionaires Club, which is just their little membership rewards program thing. And they sent out an email one day that was about this deal that they were having, and it was in store only, and it was only going to be on that day. So I see this email at 10:36 p.m. The store closes at 11 p.m. and it takes me 14 minutes to get from my house to the store. So if I left right that second and drove to the store, I could get there at 10:50. So I'd get there just before it closes. So the deal was, for any book, and you can only get one book like this, any book in the entire store would be a penny a page. So you can only get one book like this. And I knew the second I saw that email what I wanted to get, and I rushed to the store and I got this book for a penny a page, which meant I only paid $2 and something for this book because there's only 200 and something pages in it. But oh my gosh, I got the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for $2 and something. Yeah, it was like, let's see. There are 246 pages. I got this book for $2.46. This is a $40 book. I was so excited when I got this. It was also the only one they had left. They said a lot of people came in and got like big Dungeons and Dragons guidebooks and paid just a few dollars for it. This was the most amazing deal ever. If this was all I was able to do with my entire rewards membership thing, this made it all worth it. That was awesome. Okay, so the next 5 books are books that I got from the Amazon Vine program. And if you don't know what the Amazon Vine program is, it's kind of hard to explain. It's a program that you can only be invited to, and you get to select things that Amazon will send you for review. I guess it's not that difficult to explain. Unfortunately, you can't really like look up any information on it, because I tried before I accepted their invitation. I tried to look it up and see what it was all about, and there's like nothing. You can't find information about this until you accept their invitation. That's all I can tell you. I have people ask me about it all the time, and I'm like, because they want to try to sign up for it or whatever, and I'm like, you can't. I wish I could help you, but I didn't even know it existed until they sent me an email inviting me to join. So one of the things that I tend to get a lot of from them is books, and most of the books that they send are arcs. I have gotten like one finished copy, but the rest of them are all arcs. Granted, some of these books have already been out for a while, some haven't come out yet, some are coming out soon. I don't know how they make their selection on what goes on there, but this is what I got. So I have Only Ashes Remain by Rebecca Schaefer, and this comes out in September of 2019. This is the sequel to Not Even Bones, which is about a girl and I think her mother, and they sell body parts on the black market kind of thing, and especially like magical body parts, I do believe. And the main character, she's okay with like handling the selling of the body parts, but she's not okay with killing people, and her mother does that. And then I guess something happens and our main character becomes the target for being chopped up and sold for pieces or something like that. But yeah, this is the sequel to that. Okay, next we have A Mother Knows Best by Kira Peikoff, and this also comes out in September of 2019. This says, there's only room for one mother in this family. Claire Abrams' dreams became a nightmare when she passed on a genetic mutation that killed her little boy. Now she wants a second chance to be a mother and finds it in Robert Nash, a maverick fertility doctor who works under the radar with Jillian Hendricks, a cunning young scientist bent on making her mark and seducing her boss. Claire, Robert, and Jillian work together to create the world's first baby with 3 genetic parents, an unprecedented feat that could eliminate inherited disease. But when word of their illegal experiment leaks to the wrong person, Robert escapes into hiding with the now pregnant Claire, leaving Jillian to face a legal and media onslaught that all but destroys her. 10 years later, a spunky girl named Abigail begins to understand that all is not right with the reclusive man and woman she knows as her parents. She wants answers, but her innocent search will expose her family to people who want nothing more than to tear them apart. And I mean, for one, the cover really caught my attention, and it also sounded really, really intriguing. There's a blurb here on the front that says, the psychological thriller everyone will be talking about. Don't miss it. Lisa Scottoline. Next up we have Symptoms of Heartbreak by Sona Charapotra, and this actually came out in July of 2019. This says, the youngest doctor in America falls head over heels in this contemporary romantic comedy. Fresh from med school, 16-year-old Sarah starts her first day at work, treating children with cancer. She's always juggled family, friendships, and her girl genius celebrity, but now she has to prove herself to skeptical coworkers in life and death situations. Working in the same hospital as her mom isn't making things easier. Life gets even more complicated when Saria, I think that's how you say it, falls for a patient. To improve his chances, she will risk her career, and it could cost her everything. It turns out heartbreak is the one thing she doesn't know how to treat. From laugh-out-loud highs to tear-jerker lows, Sonia Charapotra's solo debut reveals a compelling, own-voices protagonist who's not afraid to chase what she wants. Next up is The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen, and this came out July 2019, and I've actually already read this, and I think I gave it like a 3.5. It was okay. There's like these different casts, all named after birds, I think. And all of the different casts have some kind of special ability except for the crows. The crows are the only one, like I said, without an ability, except they are also the only ones that are immune to this plague that's, well, killing a lot of other cast members. Cast members, like it's a play. But the crows are also treated very, very poorly. They're hunted for fun, things like that. They're treated like scum because they don't have any kind of special ability. And the queen wants to, like, well, she wants to take over, and she also wants to, like, get rid of all of the crows. So the crown prince, he kind of fakes his death. He fakes that him and his body double have the plague and rely on the crows to help get him out. And they're trying to form an army to defeat this queen without her knowing. And the prince has agreed to help the crows if they help him. And he also sees how they're actually being treated, because he seems to think that they're treated like everybody else and has no idea what's actually going on in his realm until he goes along with the crows. And it was okay. It was, I don't know, it wasn't my cup of tea, I guess. It was, like I said, I gave it a 3.5 because there were things that I really enjoyed. But for the most part, it was just fine for me. It was nothing I hated about it, but nothing I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the best book ever. But yeah. And then the last of the Amazon Vine books, we have The Hive, and this comes out, I couldn't find it on the book, but it actually comes out September 3rd. And this says, Casey McKinney has always believed in the Hive. Social media used to be out of control after all. People were torn apart by trolls and doxers. Even hackers like Cassie's dad were powerless against it. But then the Hive came. A better way to sanction people for what they do online. Cause trouble, get enough condemns, and a crowd can come after you. Teach you a lesson in real life. It's safer, fairer, and perfectly legal. Entering her senior year of high school, filled with grief over an unexpected loss, Cassie is primed to lash out. Egged on by new friends, she makes an edgy joke online. Cassie doubts anyone will notice. But the Hive notices everything, and as her viral comment whips an entire country into a frenzy, the Hive demands retribution. One moment, Casey is anonymous, the next, she's infamous, and running for her life. With nowhere to turn, she must learn to rely on herself and a group of Hive outcasts who may not be reliable, and she slowly uncovers the truth about the machine behind the Hive. The Hive is a breathless race through the day after tomorrow, where online and real life are blurred beyond recognition, and social media casts ever darker shadows. And I thought that sounded really, really interesting. Everybody told you to quit social media and you didn't listen. The Hive is your last warning. Thrilling, chilling, nightmare fulfilling, The Hive is a wild, spooky ride into a terrifying future that looks a lot like tomorrow. Paul Griffin, author of Adrift. And then the last book that I have here is actually a bind up, and it is the Giver Quartet by Lois Lowry, which is why I didn't need Gathering Blue, because I have all of them here. It is a beautiful edition with these sprayed edges, and it has a little ribbon bookmark here. And if you don't know what The Giver's about, it's a dystopian future where everybody's kind of given up being different. So everybody kind of is the same, pretty much, where there's no emotions. They take medication to keep them from having any kind of positive or negative thoughts or emotions. They also don't see any color. Everything's gray, different shades of gray. they don't know about a lot of things that happened in the past for the world. There's only one person in their society that knows everything. And also, they're not allowed to, they're not capable really of lying. The only person that's allowed to lie is the giver, and or the receiver, I guess. They're the one person that knows the truth and the history of everything. They can see all the colors, and they're the keeper of all the secrets. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can really tell you about it. But I know that our main character, he is chosen to be the next giver or receiver or whatever, and he stops taking the medication and stuff, and he starts seeing colors and feeling emotions and all of these things, and he starts learning about what the world was actually like. And it's really, 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 really good. I highly recommend it. And I've actually only I haven't finished the whole series. The only thing I ever read anything of was The Giver and the movie. So I'm excited to actually have the whole quartet and be able to read it. So yeah, that is my entire book haul for the month of August. Have you read any of these books? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!